Hey there everyone, and welcome back to the Arcane Devlogs. So I just want to start off by saying that I've got a Discord server now, so if you want to join that and have a bit of a chat, then the link will be down in the description. So I was a bit late in getting this devlog out, and that's because I've actually done a rework of the entity system in the game. And the reason I had to do this is because previously I was using Unreal Engine's base class character, and it basically forced me to use a capsule component around the character. So the collision was basically just a capsule, and I want it to be a box just so just hitboxes would be a lot cleaner and I guess more efficient. But to do that I had to create my own movement component as well, so that took quite a while to figure out, getting the friction all nice and the velocity with like jumping and stuff. But yeah, I got there in the end. So I've updated the jumping a little bit, so there's actually some placeholder animations when you jump, and you can see it cycles through 4 different colors. So red is the initial jump, when you're actually launching off the ground. Green, I believe, is when you're going upwards. Yellow is when you're falling. And that last little blue frame would be a landing animation. So on top of that, I've actually added double jumping as well. So you can press space again when you're in midair, and it'll do another jump. Eventually I'm gonna extract this out to a skill in the adept tree, so you'll have to purchase it, and then you'll be able to double jump around. So yeah, that's the movement component in a nutshell and the entity rework. Yeah, so yeah, on top of that, I reworked the AI to be a bit more efficient. You can see a little deer in the corner here. I'll go over that in a bit, but if I spawn an ogre in here, yeah, it's pretty much the same as it was before. It's just with the new movement component. So the next thing I'm going to be going over is the new combat system. I've reworked it quite a few times over the course of these devlogs, but I've sort of gotten it down to a staple. So yeah, when you click, there's another placeholder animation, and it slides you along the ground depending on your velocity. And what it actually does is there's a small time frame. Oh, go away, ogre. There's a small time frame between the animation actually exiting out and beginning, where you can do a combo. So if you click within that, it does a combo, and you can just keep chaining the attacks. I need to tweak the values there a little bit more just to make it a bit cleaner and more maneuverable, but yeah, that's the combo system. If we spawn another ogre, I'll show you what I mean by that. And then, poof, okay. I've also extracted quite a few classes from the Unreal Engine Blueprint into C++, so that took me quite a while. But yeah, it's a lot more efficient now, so in the background there's no more gaps between the mountains and stuff, so it looks a lot cleaner. Go away, sunset. So I've added death animations now, so that's kind of cool. So if we kill this ogre, get it down to low health, and then final hit it, it doesn't have a death animation, unlike the deer. I'll show that in a bit. But when it does actually start its death animation, it's just an idle stance, and then it shrinks down and vaporizes into nothingness. So the deer over here, when you actually get close to it, it's going to start running away. It's going to look up and it's going to run away. There's no running animations for it at the moment. There's just its idle graze, which that's probably going to run off the edge. No, come back. Okay, yep. But yeah, that's its idle, so you can just see it just grazing there. When we get near it, it's going to start running away. Yep, so it'll start going this way. Don't want it to run off the edge. And I'll show you the death animation for the deer, because we actually do have that. And there we go. So that looks a lot better than the ogre. The ogre's just idle stance. But yeah, the entities are slowly taking shape. Pretty much got the base sort of AI down for all of them, so that's gonna make creating new ones a lot easier. And yeah, so really my goal for the combat system is to just make the combos a lot cleaner and just look a lot better. Eventually I'll get animations for them before the demo comes out, and that should look pretty nice. Yeah, so when you hold down the charge and you actually press spacebar to jump, it's going to do an uppercut jump. I don't actually have it implemented at the moment, but there's just a little notification that says that's what it's going to do. But yeah, I reckon they'll give it a bit more variety to the combat system. Obviously, I'm going to add a lot more sort of unique things like that, so probably like a ground slam as well with the sword. But yeah. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to go over is the cave generation. So we're back in the editor here. If I eject from the player and show you guys the progress I've made on the node generation. So pretty much the only thing I've done is I've added the ability for cave nodes to merge with one another. So if one overlaps with another, then it's actually going to create a nice neat pathway into it, and it's not going to look messy. Occasionally it does actually fail, and I do get a crash, so I'm going to have to do a couple bug fixes there. But yeah, as you can see here, there's another cave system here, and it's going down, and it's just instantly merged into the other cave. Let's see if we can find any other sub branches. So when the cave goes down, occasionally it'll be given a chance, like down here, to branch out of a different side, and that might go all the way down to the left, or it might just loop back in on itself. It really depends. Yep, so as you can see down here, we've branched off into 2 different sections, and that's just going to keep going down until it hits the floor eventually. That's a nice little merge here. So yeah, that's going to keep going down until it hits the floor, and it's going to open out. So yeah, I'm not too sure what I'm actually going to do with this massive cave biome like down the bottom here. Just might be one big cavern, and there'll be a lot of mystical creatures down here, but I'll have to think about that a little bit more. But yeah, that's the sort of macro scale of the nodes and how they overlap with each other. Now I'm just going to go down to the caves and show you the changes I've made on the inside. I've actually added an exit this time, so if we jump back out, it's going to take us out of the cave, and we can go back and not be trapped there forever. But yeah, let's whip out a torch, and I'll show you guys around. So yeah, I haven't really made much progress with the internals of the cave. All I've really done is made the tiling of the walls and stuff look a lot neater. There's still a few tile textures that are missing, like this corner block up here. But yeah, the next thing I've added is these ores. So these are just going to randomly generate throughout the nodes. They're a bit inconsistent at the moment, and I need to tweak the RNG values a bit more. But yeah, if we get out a pickaxe now, we can destroy these. And I believe this is still 10 ore. It was probably 10 ore. But yeah, I don't actually have any drops at the moment, it just destroys it. But yeah, the further you go down, the more valuable the ores get. These are all still placeholder textures. I still need to get the artwork done for them. But yeah, moving on. So now we're going to go over the wall climbing and stuff. So all you have to do is come up to a wall, jump onto it. Yeah, this is just another placeholder animation. But yeah, if we press space, we can wall jump, and it will jump off the wall. So if we're up a shaft like this, we can just keep doing it on opposite directions and shimmer up the wall. Yeah, these little hitboxes here, if you actually climb up to this one, this is a pull-up corner. But yeah, when you go into it, it's going to teleport you up to the top of the ledge. That's obviously going to get replaced with a animation in the future. But yeah, these corner ones down the bottom are just drops. So if you go into them, it'll just drop you from the wall. But yeah, that's the wall jumping. As you can see, the double jump comes in pretty handy. So that'd be a good skill to have in the caves. So you probably noticed that I've removed the cave background. That's just temporary until I actually find a decent way to get it working, because previously it was lighting up the background, but the wall, it was still going past the wall, so you could still see it clipping over this tile. So that's just a bit of a visual glitch that I'm going to have to fix and then re-implement. But yeah, that pretty much wrapped it up for this month's devlog. So I'm a bit late, as always. Probably not going to release it next month on time either, but yeah, bye.